All right, guys. Billy Miller Makes a Wish, Chapter 6. Mr. Tooley's grandson was not going into third grade. Mr. Tooley's grandson was 40 years old. He was older than Billy's parents. Billy was so surprised it took a long moment for him to understand this, for it to sink in. The grandson's name was Robert. Before Mama could ring the doorbell, Robert had come out onto the front porch to greet them and introduce himself. He shook Billy's hand. "Where's the grandson?" Billy whispered to Mama. Robert heard Billy. "I'm the grandson," he said. "But you're too old," said Billy softly. "I can see why you'd think that," said Robert, "but my grandfather was very old, 92. "How old are you?" Billy asked shyly. 40, said Robert. Billy didn't know grandchildren could be so old. Mama gave Robert the brownies and the sympathy cards. Then Robert invited them into the house. Billy worried that Mr. Tooley's house would smell of a dead person. Although he had no idea what that would actually smell like, Billy held his breath at first and then he breathed through his mouth so he wasn't able to smell anything. When he finally breathed normally, he realized that Mr. Tooley's house smelled like the old-fashioned hardware store with the creaky floors that Papa liked to shop at. It was a good smell. Robert and Mama were talking in calm voices about doctors and hospitals, and Billy didn't listen. He gazed around the room. Mr. Tooley had more books than Billy had ever seen in someone's house. Billy felt as if he were in a library. There were boxes, opened and closed, scattered around and stacked in the corner. An older woman named Joan entered the room and joined them. She swayed a little when she walked. It was sort of like she was limping and sort of like she was dancing. Billy couldn't tell which it was. She was Mr. Tooley's daughter and Robert's mother. She said hello to everyone, and she thanked Mama for the brownies. She admired Billy's card with Mr. Tooley's walker. Then she oohed and awed over Sal's sympathy cards. "Your drawings are so pretty," Joan said. "They're the prettiest drawings I've ever seen." Billy watched Sal watching Joan. Joan clutched the drawings against her dress. "I love having these," she said. Sal inched closer and closer to Joan. Billy could tell that Sal had changed her mind. Now she did not want to part with her drawings. Billy could tell that she wanted them back. "Can I have my sympathy cards back?" asked Sal. Joan laughed. "Oh, sure. They're really pretty. I could see why you'd want to keep them." "Sal," Mom began. Sal took the photos from Joan and moved away. "I think they cheered you up enough," Sal said. "I need them back because there's a lot more dead people coming up. That's the way it is." Joan laughed again, and so did Robert. Mama didn't laugh. She smiled a tight-lipped smile. "Sal," she said, "when you give something to someone, it belongs to them." "It's fine," said Joan. "It's fine." She motioned to Sal to keep the drawings, and Robert laughed again. "That's the way it is." It struck Billy that Joan should have been happy to have his drawings. She hadn't made such a fuss over his sympathy card, even though he was a much better artist than Sal. Maybe, thought Billy, Joan was just trying to be nice to a little kid. "Maybe Sal could keep one," suggested Billy. He was trying to be helpful with Sal as Papa had told him to be. Or the lady could keep one. Sal and Joan said no at the exact same time. Sal's no was mournful. Joan's was almost jolly. "No, no," Joan added. She smiled, and because her mouth was so big, her smile was enormous. Mama sighed. "We need to go," she said. "We have things to do." She scooped up Sal and crossed the room to the door. Billy followed. Outside, Mama set Sal down. Neither Mama, Sal, nor Billy spoke. They walked wordlessly down the sidewalk. It felt like the hallway at school when no one is supposed to talk. Sal broke the silence. "What are the things to do?" she asked. Mama kept her pace, which was brisk. "Seeing all those boxes gave me an idea," she said. "We're going to clean the basement. It will be a nice surprise for Papa." And that's Chapter 6.